You have to understand that not all pirates are the same. And that understanding really, really matters. So I wonder if anybody knows who this character is. Does anybody know who this is? I'll give you Pirates in the Navy books for your whole company if you can guess who this is. Who? Did somebody say Jack Sparrow? No. All right. So this is a pirate, but it's Sir Francis Drake. And Sir Francis Drake is famously known as Queen Elizabeth's pirate. Because he was a pirate before, like a typical criminal, and then Queen Elizabeth hired him for a specific purpose, which is to target Spanish ships. Right? And so he went out to the high seas and he did that, and when he came back with the loot from Spanish ships, he was celebrated and given a knighthood. One of the few criminals to ever get a knighthood. Right? And so the reason I use Francis Drake to illustrate this point is that there's a distinction between a typical pirate and a pirate who does their criminality while attached to an institution. And a corporate innovator is a criminal who does their piracy attached to an institution. Right? And so understanding that is really, really important. And this distinction is really a distinction between what we call pirates and what we call privateers. Right? A privateer is a pirate with a mandate to do specific things for a specific institution. They even carried letters with them called the Letter of the Marquis, which was from a specific king or a specific institution who they were working for. A pirate is just Jack Sparrow out on the high seas doing whatever they want. It's a wonderful life, but if you're caught, you will be made to walk the plank. And so if you're working inside a large organization, you cannot think of yourself as a pirate. You have to think of yourself as a privateer. And there are important distinctions to make there. Think about yourself in terms of how leaders respond to you, your status in the organization, the resources you get, and the projects you get to work on. If you're a pirate, leaders don't care about your work. But if you're a privateer, they do. And it's impossible, almost impossible to succeed with corporate innovation without leadership support. If you're just a pirate, your status is very low, right? But if you're a privateer, you're an important part of the organization, a recognized and celebrated part of the organization. In terms of resources, if you're a pirate, you have to hustle them up. You have to find them and try and hide your work, protect your baby, right? But if you're a privateer, your resources are consistent and sometimes likely to be increased. And then finally, your projects. If you're a pirate, your projects will be killed, even if they're viable. But if you're a privateer, if they're viable, they're likely to be taken to scale. And I know this because I worked with a bank in South Africa that had a really beautiful building, and then across the street, another beautiful building that was just for their corporate innovation team. And that team had come up with 14 viable business models, and then they brought them back to the mothership, and not a single person in the mothership wanted to scale these businesses. And they were surprised. I was like, well, it's because you're pirates, you're now privateers. You're far away from what's happening inside your large organization. So that really, really matters.